Let me share with you a conversation I had recently with my friend, Rachel. Rachel is the type of person who's always thinking about the deeper aspects of life, why things happen, how we can change our circumstances, and what makes things work the way they do. She's a curious soul, always looking for the answers that make sense of the chaos we sometimes feel around us. One afternoon, we were sitting in a cozy cafe, sipping our coffee, when Rachel brought up a thought that had been bothering her for a while. She leaned forward, a thoughtful expression on her face, and said, "I've been trying to understand something, and I just can't seem to get it. I know that when I focus on the lack of money, I don't attract more money. I understand that. But here's the thing, when I think about not having cancer, I end up feeling like I could still get it, even if I don't want it. Why is that? Why does focusing on not wanting something, like cancer or illness, still attract the very thing I don't want?" I could see that Rachel was struggling with this. It's a really powerful question, one that I think many of us wrestle with. Why does focusing on the absence of something, even something negative, seem to draw it to us? And why does the same principle seem to work for both health and wealth? So I thought for a moment and then shared my perspective with her. I said, "Rachel, here's the way the universe works. It's not about the word no. The universe doesn't hear no. When you say, 'I don't want cancer,' it doesn't interpret that as 'I don't want cancer.' Instead, it interprets it as a focus on cancer itself, on the lack of health, and that's where the energy gets misdirected. When you're thinking about the absence of health, you're actually giving your attention to the very thing you don't want, cancer or sickness, and that becomes an invitation for it to come into your life." I could tell that Rachel was intrigued but still puzzled. She looked at me and asked, "So, you're saying that when I focus on not wanting something, I'm actually attracting more of it? How does that make sense with money? If I'm constantly thinking about not having enough money, does that mean I'm actually calling more lack of money into my life too?" I smiled and nodded, recognizing the light bulb moment that was starting to happen. I replied, "Exactly. And it's the same principle with money or health or anything else. The universe doesn't distinguish between positive or negative thoughts, it only responds to the energy and vibration that your thoughts are producing. So when you focus on the lack of something, whether that's health, wealth, or anything else, you're actually putting out a vibration of lack. And lack attracts more lack. It's like sending out a signal that says, 'I don't have this thing,' and the universe responds by giving you more of the feeling of not having it." Rachel leaned back in her chair, trying to digest this new way of looking at things. "So, you're telling me that when I'm focused on the absence of something, like money or good health, I'm actually giving energy to the thing I'm trying to avoid?" "Exactly," I replied. And this is where it gets really important. It's not about whether you say "I don't want something." It's about what your thoughts and feelings are truly focused on. If your thoughts are centered around not having enough money, or about fearing getting sick, you're energetically aligning with that very thing. The universe doesn't judge whether it's good or bad, it just gives you more of what you're vibrating. Rachel was quiet for a moment, contemplating. I could see that she was starting to understand but still had a few questions, so I decided to dive deeper. "Think of it like this," I said. "Imagine you're holding a magnifying glass up to something. If you're focused on the lack of something, you're holding that magnifying glass over the absence, and the universe magnifies that for you. It brings you more of the absence of what you want. But if you shift your focus, even slightly, and start looking for the presence of what you want, money, health, opportunities, whatever it may be, the universe starts to magnify that instead." Rachel's eyes brightened as she started to make the connection. "So when I feel bad or stressed about not having enough money, that's like holding the magnifying glass over the absence of money, and that keeps me stuck in that lack?" "Exactly," I said. And when you feel good, even a little bit, when you start thinking about abundance or the possibilities of wealth, the universe begins to bring you more of that. It's not about ignoring the reality of your situation. It's about recognizing the power of your focus and choosing to focus on what feels better, what feels more abundant, and what aligns with the kind of life you want to create. Rachel looked thoughtful, and I could tell she was really starting to see the depth of this principle. So, I continued, let's talk about how this applies to health. If you're constantly thinking about not getting sick, you might feel anxious, fearful, or even powerless. And those feelings align you with the very thing you're trying to avoid. But when you focus on health and well-being, on the small victories your body achieves, on the energy you have, on the moments when you feel truly alive and strong, that's what you start to attract more of. It's all about shifting your attention from what's missing to what's already present. You begin to align with the flow of wellness rather than the flow of illness. Rachel's expression softened as she began to understand the subtle but powerful shift. So, it's really about focusing on what I want, rather than obsessing over what I don't want? The key is to change how I feel about things, especially money or health, and focus on what I do want to attract? That's it, I said. The key is to recognize how your emotions are guiding you. When you feel bad, that's a sign that you're focusing on something that is out of alignment with what you truly want. But when you feel good, when you feel positive, hopeful, and abundant, that's your signal that you're aligned with your desires. And that's when the universe starts to respond. Rachel smiled, clearly feeling the shift within herself. Okay, I think I get it now. It's all about the energy I'm putting out, not just the thoughts or words. The universe responds to my feelings and vibration, and if I feel bad, I'm attracting more of the bad. But if I feel good, I'm attracting more of the good. Exactly, I said, smiling back at her. And this is where it gets exciting. Once you understand that your feelings are your guide, you can intentionally choose better feeling thoughts. You can shift your focus from lack to abundance, from sickness to health, from scarcity to possibility. The universe is always responding to you. Your job is to be aware of how you feel and make those small shifts to align yourself with the good things you want. As Rachel left that day, she was quiet, but I could tell something had clicked. She was ready to start shifting her focus and paying attention to how she felt about the things she desired. And honestly, I think this conversation opened up a new chapter for her. It's amazing how just a small shift in focus can change the trajectory of our lives. So, if you've ever found yourself thinking about what you don't want, whether it's money, health, or any other challenge, remember, it's not about the no. It's about where your attention goes. Focus on what you want, feel good about it, and the universe will align with that. You'll find doors opening, opportunities arising, and everything you truly desire coming into your life. And that's the magic of focus and emotion. They are the keys to unlocking the life you truly want.